we're trying to,
Okay.
well, it started as an event and then it just sort of turned into this. So it's, I think it's cool because, you know, like, talk about the different community groups want to have music and just sort of musicians want to have gigs.
Mr. Knows Bridging the Gap. Josh, the link, or second, I'm getting a message that says this is not a secure page.
When you click on a Zoom link?
It's not private, it wants me to close it. I'm clicking on the link. I got the wrong link. Could you send me a link really quickly and see if it matches?
Yeah, I had to do.
Pivot.
Oh my God, now mine's
So happy.
my regular.
I just emailed it to you.
Yeah, you are. You are
Now
now.
I'm just trying to click on it. Xfinity, it's saying the same thing.
Are you online? It might be a security setting and you're on a public system.
Maybe that's it. So, this is why I meant to be here earlier. Come on, OC Public. Do me.
Do y'all feel ready to get started?
No.
Okay.
Can I have one?
Give Amy one more
Yes, you
minute.
Because it's not letting me to log on and I couldn't. Josh.
He's tricky.
Okay, so in the beginning, it was just like, this connection is not private, but even with my own, this is the link that I got. Oh, now it says I'm not connected. It dumps me. Oh, because cool, wheel spin. I thought I would try to do it Oregon State. And it doesn't want to.
Well, all I can say is you should have bought a PC.
Oh.
And be like, you guys? Sorry, I am an elite.
The cool kids.
I'm team Mac too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up my status, babe.
Okay, well, keep watching that wheel spin then.
Turn it off and back on, Amy.
Maybe do a restart.
I don't want to restart. It's taking too much time.
Is there something specific you need to be on the
I
bridge
just
for?
wanted to see what everyone else is seeing, but
Well, we should have more stuff up there.
Okay, all right. Carry on then. Fine.
A reminder to me
Oh, good. I don't know.
this thing should show what's being broadcast.
Generally it works unless it's fine print, and then there have been times when I've been really glad. But thank you. This is my problem and not your problem.
You can cozy in next to me.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and let him know we're going to get started.
Okay. Yeah, because this is not.
We will call to order the meeting of the Oregon State Arts Commission on April 16th. We'll start off with roll call, and can we do those?
Yes, Amanda Dexter.
Here.
Alexis Ingram.
Here.
Kristen Naziri.
Here.
Joyce Lemaster.
Here.
Josh Planton.
Here.
Myra Ravenwise.
Here.
Rebecca Sierra.
Here.
Amy Wilson.
I'm mostly here.
Thank you. So next up is item number 2. Commission application status, and then there was also a request just recently for a few funds to purchase nameplates for our newest art commissioner members, so I'd like to approve that as well. I think the number was $40 was thrown out, so we'll get to that. Are there any other adjustments or changes or questions on the agenda for today? Okay, we'll consider the agenda approved. Approval of the minutes from March 19th. Are there any adjustments to the March 19th minutes?
Yes.
Go ahead, Rebecca.
Section 6, communications, the Creative Action Lab is this Saturday from 10 to noon.
Okay, so changing from 9 to 1 to 10 to noon. Any other changes? I have one, if no one else does, a minor change, but under section 5, item D, it's noted, Josh recommended we issue an RFP for a new public mural on public property. Just for clarification's sake, can we add on public Oregon City property? It's a technicality, but it just makes it a little clearer because we do have other public property in Oregon City that isn't ours to paint on. Okay. Or is there anyone who'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes with those proposed changes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes with the proposed changes.
Thank you, Alexis. Anyone second?
Oh, me.
Amy second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say the same. Okay, the minutes are approved with those changes. Thank you, everyone. Next up, we have section or item number 4 on the agenda, public comment. And do we have any public comments that you received?
None received.
Okay. Then we will go ahead and skip item number 5 on the agenda and jump down to item 6 and actually to item 6E, application status for the Oregon City Arts Commission. And do you want to give a brief update of just what we've seen come in so far?
Yeah, so we've gotten 2 applications that have come in, and then we've agreed that we should reach out to some of the folks who had applied in December and encourage them to apply again. So I think we will have 3. I reached out to the mayor to see if she was satisfied or we should keep running it, and I didn't have a chance to hear back from her one way or the other, so it's still open. And we can decide, I'll need to confirm with her when to close it. So, but I'm anticipating that at least one of the people who applied in December will reapply,
Okay.
but we've gotten 2.
So if you know anyone else who wants to apply, feel free to share the information out. It's still public on the website, on the city website. And then once it gets closed, and we'll arrange the interviews likely at the May meeting. Anyone have any questions or thoughts on that process?
We could make an announcement at the Saturday gathering too.
Yeah, we can do that. Okay. Perfect. The next up is a new item. Oh, am I getting feedback from there?
Yeah.
I do this every time.
Okay. Next up, we did have last minute budget request for nameplates. I believe, Ann, you confirmed they're about $20 a piece, so I'd like to just get a budget approval for $40 for nameplates for our newest members. Actually,
Let's add a little bit more, because if we have another person join.
I was just gonna say, if we're having a third person join, we might as well bump it up to 60 and then let Ann purchase them all when we have a confirmed one. Does that sound okay to everyone?
Is there a price break?
I don't think so.
Not at
3.
not at 3.
Well, that's what I was saying, I was like, it's a lot for us.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve a budget item for $60 for nameplates for new arts commissioners?
I will make a motion.
Me?
Can we do that?
I will second.
Thank you, Amanda. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say the same. Okay, we'll consider it approved. So I'll jump back up here then to the top of section 6, and we'll just start going down these items until the artist arrives. First up is the Mural RFP status. So I will give that over to Alexis and Amanda.
Yeah. We're just gonna give a verbal update.
Okay.
Do you wanna share it?
Well, Alexis and I were able to meet with Anne, and we talked a bit about potential locations. And so we were able to narrow it down to 3 possibilities. One would be Railroad Avenue on the, I guess that's the south end, closer to Singer Hill. So that's one option. Then the Madison Tap Room has reached out asking how to get a mural. They would like to do a mural, so that could be another option. That would be a private property, but that is right on 7th Street, as we had discussed. Or an intersection mural, and the location we had discussed was kind of in that Oregon City Library, Fire Station, Pioneer Center intersection. So that would be 6th and John Adams. Those 3 locations were kind of the only ones that were available, considering that there is not a lot of city property right now that could be accessible, and also not in the area that we were hoping for. So those were the 3 possibilities. Anne, I think, was going to...
Well, there's one qualifier, I
Yes,
think.
go ahead.
So we talked about with the Madison Tap Room's interest, that we thought that the fairest way would be to open it up to any business within like that corridor to apply. So we weren't like being favoritism, or like we wanted to be equitable, but we didn't know what that window of opening up that RFP, if that would extend. So Anne was going to find out how long we would have to open up a window for like a call to the public of like, hey, if you want to apply. And then we also didn't know, like we were trying to figure out the timing of all of this, because I think the goal was, as you shared, Josh, to like, let's get something jump started so that it can be demonstrating that we're doing stuff this year. And we did do our due diligence with Anne's help to like ask the city for any locations that they had. And Anne reached out to Parks and Rec and what's Vance's title? Public Works.
Public Works,
And the Parks and Rec were like, we don't have anything right now, but we might have something in 2027. Like they were like open and agreeable, but the city really didn't have that many. They had a lot of retaining walls and ponds that they were like, these are where we have got land.
Okay.
Not really in
Find
the
like
public
a secret building on the corridor that we didn't know about, but nothing turned up.
Okay. Are there anything else?
Did you have any information about how long that window needs to be open?
Yeah, I'm afraid I didn't have the opportunity. I was out of town for a couple of days this week unexpectedly to do that kind of research. I mean, we ended up with kind of a long list of publicly owned assets, but a lot of them, like Alexis was just saying, were like retaining walls or very short walls. They're not very high profile locations. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we do have those 3 options.
I just kind of want to come back to the group and get thoughts. A vibe check.
Anyone have thoughts they want to share?
I mean, I'm excited about the street mural idea. I think that's seen a little more rarely in town, and it would be kind of a nice piece near, a place that gets a lot of public access.
Oh, do you want to share about that group that you were working with that does the...
Right. So we had talked about working with City Repair, and they are a nonprofit group that helps communities to like plan something like that and to be really intentional about it and to get a lot of community buy-in and feedback. But that's a process. It takes quite a while. So I think when we threw that out there, we thought maybe that might be the second thing we could do because it won't be fast. If we want to do a process like that really like gets the community engaged,
which I think would be really great for us for visibility purposes and just, for doing something really amazing and for the community to be involved in the art. That might take a little bit longer than what we were hoping for in terms of the timeline. I mean, we could just
Start both.
we could just design it and do it, but it is really fun to have the whole community getting in on it.
For sure.
Yes to all of that. My concern is durability again, and that you guys, on the one that you were involved with, already had to come back in 2 years, and that the traffic is 3 years.
We've painted it 3 times.
Okay.
So every 3 years we painted it, I think. Every 2 or 3
And
years.
that's a street that doesn't get a lot of, or an intersection, I should say, traffic. I think that if we choose to do this, we need to go in with a plan for kind of constant, ongoing repairs, and are we up for that?
Yeah. Okay, any other thoughts, questions?
Does anyone have a preference between potentially doing a mural on a privately owned building as opposed to putting something else on Railroad Avenue?
Well, I think it comes down to timing, right? If we wanted something done this year, kind of the reason we were emphasizing the public property is that it would allow us to move quicker to do so. The private, if you start an RFP with that, you'd open it up to the public, promoting it. You'd probably want to give them at least 2 months to respond. So say we approve the RFP in May, it goes out. That means you're not getting applications until June or July, which means you're not, and then selecting one. And selection process could be a little bit of time if you've got a lot of good options. You might only have one, which make it quicker, but I don't think you would get that done in this calendar year.
Can I don't want to, am I interrupting your train of thought?
No.
Okay, because I was just thinking, since it would be something that's commissioned by us, we could, in theory, choose the artist and the design before we choose the location. I mean, those could be going on concurrently. So that as soon
Only
as
on
we,
government owned, not for a private.
then as soon as we identify the private building that the mural would go on, we'd just say, here's the design and here's the artist and go. Does that make sense? No?
If they would go along with it, what?
If they would go along with that design,
But
yeah.
if we're paying for it,
Well,
I think they would want to have, I can't imagine owning a building
They might want him.
and saying, sure, we'll put up
just do anything.
Teletubbies, I always loved them, great, I don't know, maybe, but otherwise they might negotiate back and forth.
it also might require us to go, because we're funding it, go through the city commission for approval.
It would.
Delay time.
It would. We would have
Versus
to
we
do
wouldn't
that.
have to do that with the public property. So I think that's the number one thing for me, is just the timing of it. If we want to try and get one done this calendar year, I think the public would be the best option. To your point about if we pre-selected some of the items and offered it up to people, I don't know, that seems kind of more forceful to me than if we said, identify your artist, bring forward a proposal, which actually would maybe take longer than 2 months, because that's identifying artists you like and picking a design you like, and then getting all the paperwork turned in, and then the 20-day notice. So that's my thought, but happy to hear what others think in terms of timing of this.
I think the other thing that this kind of surfaced for us during the process was like, what's our budget for what we want to spend as a commission? And like, both Amanda and I are like, these are all good ideas. Like maybe we cadence out the timing in a way, and we just start getting things kind of stacked up as we're trying to get the Arts Commission kind of more recognizable and as a resource for artists in the community. And we just keep doing all of them. But how much money do we have to spend?
I can pull up the budget from the last time. We have roughly
It's about 70, right?
about 70. And I don't disagree with you that we can do all three of these over the course of the next 18 to 24 months. But do we want to, I guess my question maybe to the group is, do we want to try and get one done this year? Is that the priority, or is the priority getting a good piece of art out, even if it takes longer? I'm not saying that it wouldn't be a good piece of art that we would get done this year, but just time-wise, do people want something more tangible this year, or are they okay waiting longer?
And the background, we should say that I think you mentioned last time, is that public officials are very anxious for us to get a mural up.
They're wanting something, so maybe the thing to do would just be to do the public property and get something done this summer, and then maybe have an opportunity for private businesses within, that are on 7th Street on that corridor to be able to apply.
Yeah.
And maybe try to get something like that done next spring, and maybe plan on doing all the planning for that intersection mural over the winter months as well.
And this might just be me, but I don't mind the idea of even just doing the retaining walls either. If we have a number of them around the city that we could do pieces of art on. We talked last time about the rain paint that will only show up when it rains. If we're talking places that are near ponds and stuff, we could do a lot of art, smaller pieces, and have a variety of artists do different pieces, and kind of make a little bit of a art walk out of it. I'm okay with that even, if that is simpler and we could divvy up the funds a little bit more.
I haven't seen a map of where those retaining walls are. I thought you said they were retaining ponds.
Yeah, the city was a little reluctant to share the full list just because some of it was like the address of every sensitive pump in the city, and so rather than just download the whole thing. But maybe we could do that, like look in more depth, at every playground and every park and every stormwater facility. And so I'll get release for that information if you would like to look at it.
It would be nice, I think, just to have like a list of like locations that we feel like have potential for having a mural
Yeah.
that are city owned.
If that's going to take a long time getting that all worked through with Public Works, then I would, again, maybe turn back a little bit and advise we just stick with, it sounds like the Railroad Avenue was a good option for people. Do we know about how big that wall is?
Oh, it's long, goes all the way to the end over here.
There is another piece of art in the middle where those waterfalls.
Oh, is that got a lunar?
Yeah.
I'm just, we could make it the size we want, I guess is what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
big.
yeah. Okay. If we have leeway there, then maybe we decide on kind of roughly what we want to spend, and then decide they can take whatever portion of the wall they need that would cover that with those expenses or that funding, and then we put the RFP together and get that out in May. Does that work for people?
Yeah.
And I was going to say to Alexis and Amanda, if you guys want to, we can have a follow-up conversation, and other folks too, up to, without another special meeting. We could have a follow-up conversation to our last meeting where I can show you more detail in that list. I think in terms of finding attractive, impactful public locations, I don't think we're going to find anything better than what's already been suggested here tonight.
Yeah.
And in terms of going forward with Railroad Avenue, I know I could ask someone from Public Works to come. They've got those counters, when you see somebody walking along the street, they do the measuring tape on wheels. And it would be north of the entrance to the elevator, but south of where the moon trap artwork is that Amy just alluded to. And so it would be in that part of the of Railroad Avenue.
Something else that might be kind of exciting, I think of it as the McMenamins way of decorating, is if there are pipes And there are infrastructure that the city owns. They're great surfaces too. I mean, it doesn't have to be a flat wall. It could be something that's otherwise an eyesore, and then you can paint on it. It would be kind of cool.
You mean in like the retaining wall space and just finding
Yeah.
ponds and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing, if we could look through that whole list, that we could, like, I would happily take that on of just being like, making some decisions about, I think these places would be cool, and then we'd have something, and maybe we find an artist who likes to do.
Even if they knew, I think Parks and, who else is involved in this? Public Works, I guess.
Public Works.
They're probably just going, nothing there. But if we told them, hey, wait a minute, there's a potential to do something else that isn't strictly a wall also.
Yeah.
Are
Okay.
they open to painting on like utility boxes and things like that?
I don't know. That would be a good conversation. Yeah.
Get ready, Vance.
Well, we could even invite Vance maybe to one of our upcoming meetings to talk through some of this with him.
Yeah, his name is Vance Walker, and he has offered that actually.
Okay.
He'd be willing to come.
That
so,
would be good.
yeah.
So do we want to propose a amount for this project? And that way we can start putting together an RFP?
And then we could bring the RFP for meeting next month for approval. Okay, I've got the template. Fill it in. Great.
It's going to depend on how big it is. And if we don't know that yet, I think it's going to be hard.
Well, but what I'm saying is we can kind of judge that, right? So if we want something right there that's roughly 10 by 10, or I forget how tall the wall is right there, but say roughly 10 by 10, right? What do we estimate that's going to cost? 20?
What did we pay Kathy Rowe for Lotterette?
What did we pay Kathy Rowe for Lotterette?
That was a renovation.
And it was a renovation.
Was a renovation, but it was a very long wall. It
It was a
wasn't.
very long wall.
Let's do some research and come back
I
to
think
it.
it's the best.
Because I don't think we have enough information to go, oh, well, let's just throw, 15,000 of noodles at the wall.
A little early.
I think we need to know how long it is and then decide, like, are we going from edge to edge? Are we going to do a small section? 'Cause
Well, I
we
guess
have-
that's what I'm trying to get to, a decision for them. That way you can go back and say, we've got this much on this wall we're gonna do. And then we can put an RFP instead, because if we wait till decide how much to approve for the budget, if they do the full wall, that's gonna be a much different thing than if they wanna do a small piece. So instead of bringing that back and discussing that at the next meeting, moving forward with let's start with 10 by 10, then we can add to it as we go, kind of thing. But I'm happy to go with whatever others are feeling. We
Well,
wanna get more
Amanda and I can go
information.
and look at the wall size too and put together, like, here's some options of sizes and include those in our RFP that we could bring to y'all for approval, and then we could approve like option A, B, or C, and then we'll assign a budget to it. So we could bring something to be able to vote it on by next month.
Right,
And then we can add the pricing into
Right.
it, and then we can move on it.
And if it's long enough, are you thinking one artist does the whole thing, or are you going to have like 3 artists or multiple artists do something?
Whoever applies,
If they want to do all of that.
yeah.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is Amanda and Alexis will take this information, go view the wall, decide how, different variety of options for the sizing of it, and then come back with a proposal with an RFP in May for approval.
Yes.
Okay.
That's good.
Just so you both know, what we're currently sitting on in funds is, hold on. With the $60 removed, we're at $66,244
That needs to
roughly.
be spent.
Needs to be spent by next June 30th,
So like a year.
just roughly a year from now.
Next June. Okay, so we have another year.
So, okay. Awesome. Well, thank you both for working on that. Thank you, Anne, for assisting.
Absolutely. Just for point of reference, we paid Kathy Rowe $12,000 for her work at Ledred Parkland.
Okay.
Thank you.
That doesn't include materials, that was the artist fee.
I believe that included materials.
Okay.
That was a renovation, but it was a DC Lotterette Park, which was that long wall. I don't know how long it is, 30 feet, 40 feet?
It's pretty long.
Yeah. Okay, with that, I see we have the artist has arrived, so we'll jump back to item number 5, the public hearing. And I'll, I guess, gavel us into the public hearing portion of this meeting. And I will invite our guests to come up and present.
I'm going to say just 1 or 2 comments from my staff report, but invite our guests to introduce themselves first.
Okay.
Tima Carlson, volunteer, co-founder, and current treasurer of Soulflags Art Community Center.
And Anna, you may need to turn that mic on. No, there you go. There you go.
Is it working? Oh, wow. Okay, well, I'm Anna Gabriela. I am a large-scale muralist. I have run my mural business for the last 5 years. Oh my goodness, sorry, just changed. And yeah, that's me.
Well, welcome. Thank you both for being here. I'm just going to make a couple references to the staff report that was included in the package. In terms of, so obviously here tonight to discuss the proposed mural for Railroad Avenue. And one of the things that we do in the Economic Development Department is confirm the eligibility of the project. And I think we all know that it's in a properly zoned location. It's in the mixed use downtown zone, which is proper for murals. And although it took us maybe 2 years to figure this out, we do know that who the owner of the wall is, and the permission has been granted from the property owner. In that case, it's the city, but like we didn't know that initially. And the applicant is also an eligible applicant. I'm just going through the criteria and our guidelines. By being a 501c3 nonprofit, they are eligible applicant for this. I'm going to let Tima and Anna talk a little bit more, but this is quite a large mural. As you can see in the packet, it's, I believe, 150 feet long. It's really going to transform, in my opinion, Railroad Avenue from what is currently a gray kind of industrial landscape to a much more colorful appearance, and it has a great story to tell. It's appropriate for many reasons, and I'll let Tima and Anna talk about that. But I wanted to let people know that in terms of the criteria for the public art mural program, this project meets the criteria. So we're happy to have you here, and with that short introduction, I'll turn it back to you.
Well, thank you. So it's been a long time coming. This particular mural, as Anne said, we've applied on multiple occasions. First had trouble with determining who the owner was, couldn't get in touch with the railroad or feedback from the railroad, and finally discovered that it was given to the city around 1923, I think. And that gave us the ability to move forward and eventually get approval. We've been working with Anna on several layouts of the mural and had some recent dialogue with the Arts Commission and Mayor, and have come up with a current structure for the design. And Anna will go into further detail on the logistics and everything. I'm just going to kind of go over what it depicts. So
If you'd like me to show that, I can.
yes, if you can, that would be wonderful. So it is located on the, I guess, the southeast portion, I guess, of Railroad Avenue at the intersection of Highway 99E and Railroad Avenue, and it's on the west-facing wall, as and said it's 150 feet length, 3 feet in the beginning in height, up to 20 feet at the end near the pedestrian tunnel. It's currently called, well, The Living Current, A Cycle of Life, and it depicts different wildlife and riparian styles within, I'm a little nervous, I apologize, of the area, being so close to the Willamette River. And the final output, I really feel like blends in so well with the rock wall behind. So very excited to get this going. It'll have an educational, of course, because Soulflags is involved with it, for youth to, or any community members to see the different species and descriptions for further detail. And then it will be a community paint by number activity at one stage. So Anna, if you'd like to.
Yeah, so I am so excited about this project. It has been in the works for almost the majority of my career. And I'm so stoked we're finally making it happen. So this rendition of the design is themed because in the cycle of life, because Tima and myself are very passionate about educating the community about our ecology, and we have noticed that there are some amazing salmon, some amazing lampreys and sturgeons in the waters here, and we think that it's really important to highlight their life and their cycle, because it is really exciting for kids to learn via art. And I've seen that myself in some projects I've done across the river over in Vancouver, Washington. This 150-foot wall is not something that's scary for myself, because I did a 300-foot overpass 2 times a few years ago over in Vancouver. So each side was about 300 feet long, 3 feet high. It was brutal, but it turned out so beautiful. We included all native plants, native animals, and I was even able to include different pets from all of the locals, just walking their pets around. I would take photos of their dogs and put it in. It was so much fun. So this wall is something that I think will really benefit Oregon City because of what I've seen out in Vancouver. People connecting with the wall, not just through taking photos and looking at it with their children, but we're going to be installing 2 sets of QR codes on each side that will link to a link tree. So that's a little site that we can change over time. So say we need to add more information about our ecology in this area, or we want to change different websites up, we'll have that ability to do so. But people can scan that, they can learn about Soulflags, they can learn about Oregon City, they can learn about myself, and most importantly, they can learn about the ecology that is involved in this mural itself. So from the bottom, we've got all of the fish life, and then on the top, what's really fun is we've got some native plants, native animals, specifically osprey, and I cannot remember the other 2, so sorry, I came from a different meeting. And we were also talking about, with Mac McFarland, adding a little fishing post so that we can include some homage to the Indigenous people of this area as well. And I think it's gonna go so beautifully. And when we do the paint by numbers, I've done that before as well over at Roosevelt Elementary School out in Vancouver, Washington. What we'll do is I will spend the first week preparing the wall. So I will prime it, paint it, sketch it, and then get it to a point where it's ready for the community to come out and paint it. And what's great is that this is gonna be the first real paint day. So if they mess up, I will handle it, and it will make sure that it is a professional, beautiful wall that will last the test of time, but that also gives the community the opportunity to feel invested and feel ownership over it as well. So then for years to come, they can show their kids, their grandkids, their siblings, their parents, their grandparents, and say, I was a part of this. And it'll be a point of pride for Oregon City, and I think it'll be such an amazing project. Okay, perfect. I'm good. As a consultant.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, are there any questions?
Sounds great. It looks really good.
It's got to be the questioner.
I love questions. Bring them on.
And I don't know if it's as much a question as thinking about a QR code that could change.
Yes.
I'm not certain that sounds great to me.
It won't change. So the QR code itself will always be whatever the final title of the mural is. So it's Linktree / the title of the mural. So that'll always stay the same. And in a Linktree, you can offer different links in there so that, say one day we decide that the website platform for this mural shouldn't just be my website, it should have its own. We can change those too, but the link on the wall itself will never change. It's just, say we wanted to pivot and Oregon City said, we want our own website for this mural. We can make those adjustments so that there's a longevity there.
Okay, and I'm thinking along those lines, I don't mean that the QR code would change, but that the information would change, and the city would be endorsing anything that's on there. And I don't think the city is necessarily prepared to endorse, especially if it's changing. If somebody goes in the back and changes for Mike's Drive-In, for me, I understand the utility of it, and it's really, really great. I'm questioning whether that's an element we want to add.
Yeah, well, we can absolutely make it a permanent link. That would just be something where we would have to make a decision where do we want this information stored? Because the reason I like a Linktree, I've done this on a handful of different murals, especially when it comes to native tribes. I want them to be able to share their story. I'm not going to be doing that myself. It's their people, it's their history. I shouldn't share for them. So it gives them a link, which gives them an opportunity to be like, this is who we are, this is where we come from. And then we can have a link for the website that will explain all of the information about all of the fish and all of the plants and all of the animals so that people can have that interactiveness with it. So if we choose to do something that is forever staying put, then I think it would be great if we were able to put something on, say, Oregon City website or Arts Commission website or something that is going to last 50 to 100 years or so that it's something that is solid. The reason I like Linktree is that it allows us to pivot. So say in 5 years, I close my business. Then I'm able to create a website for it that is stationary, that is there forever. So I want to make sure that information always stays. Does that make sense?
It does. I'm just, again, questioning from the city's perspective, if this is an element that we want, because especially if it could be changed from the back door,
That would be me.
well, they would, she changes her business, or somebody else comes along, or, it's being added, and the city doesn't, you can't just put anything on the city's website, for instance.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So they probably wouldn't if this is the same sort of thing, it's still something they own, that expressly communicates the intention of the city.
Well, then what would you prefer?
I'll be honest with you, this is not nice, as it would be to have nothing. That when you reach out and material that, there could be flyers, for instance, that you could sort of say, but as far as just a public art piece, that it needs to kind of be exactly what it is. And then you could bring in, when you're doing education and bringing people in, great, there's your Linktree, there's all the cool, fun stuff.
I agree, and I do see your point. I just think it really does give us a lack in terms of the interactiveness for walker-buyers, people just passing by, people visiting Oregon City. So if there's a way that we could work for it to be a solid stationary thing, whether it's we sign a contract and I tell you I will never put down my website ever, I'm happy to do that. I just think it's been something I've really seen a lot of people in Vancouver, Washington truly enjoy, because teachers, they don't want to learn more things. They have so much to do. So they're able to go on the Linktree, they go to my website, they read about the blackberries, they read about the little dogs. When the kids ask, who's this dog? They go and they find the exact dog, and I have a photo of the real one and then the drawing, so that the kids can have that moment with it. And it brings them it brings it home with them. So that's just something where if we could, that'd be awesome. If not, I totally understand.
Well, and I think it could be potentially a web page on the city website with links to the artists and Soulflags and the tribe and
And if people have concerns about the longevity or the appropriateness or, I mean, we can vet all of those things and have a signed agreement with the artist or with Soulflags going forward, so.
Has there been any discussion of a contract, in part just because, in addition to Amy's point, if that mural was damaged, technically in most murals, that would be, repairs would fall to the property owner. So the city would be taking on that responsibility in this case, right? Not Soulflags. So unless the city wants to make a contract where it says Soulflags is responsible for that repair, or the city's gonna take it, then this might be something else we add to that they also just, at least put parameters in. They put parameters on us when we went on our own website. So I can imagine that there's some within even the IT team and legal that'll want something.
Yeah, I think Mike needs to know that, what the plan is, which I think is really cool. I love the interactiveness. It's just where, like, for example, with the Arts Commission website, we have all of our content up and everything, but they own the domain. So if we ever do something that they don't like, they can just turn it off. So they need to have some form of control over, and so, maybe the link tree or all the links, like you said, is a page on the Arts Commission page. And then it can go to the various websites and everything.
100%.
So we'll just have to talk to Mike.
Yeah, I will do that. I will talk with both Mike and our communications director and put a draft together for your consideration.
Amy, did you have anything else?
No, other than it is beautiful. It is really beautiful.
Thank you
This
so
is
much.
very positive about this. I'm sorry to say something
love it.
not that great.
Hey, no questions. This is what we need.
Okay.
We need the questions out now before we get going.
Any other questions this side?
No, that was my main question. Just like,
My question was for
Who was
this
gonna be-
group more.
Yeah.
Was like, is it an option then to make the city or this group the owners of that link tree or of that QR code so that we can make the changes rather than giving it to her?
That's what we need
That's
to
what,
have.
yeah, Mike
find
needs to
out
tell
from
us
Mike.
and Jared needs to tell us what they want.
And then my concern about and I kind of brought it up last time too, is anything that we're trying to add to the city for art, is there a budget or are we then adding on to this because it is city property, like you said, to work on that maintenance piece? Because being right here by that tunnel that gets tagged all the time, that end's gonna get tagged. I don't know that it's fair to put it on them to pay for that constant repair, but do we have the funds
Or
to
does the
take care of
city know that
Well,
it's on them?
and that's the question, is the city gonna put the onus on us to pay for it if it does get tagged? Or is the city gonna cover it out of general funds or enhancement grant funds? So there needs to be some type of an agreement there and what that looks like with the city.
And that's for all the projects that I'm thinking going forward.
Yeah, normally if it would be like one of our murals on city property and it gets tagged, it's gonna get painted with the clear coat, and you can hopefully just take it off fairly easily with
Which you have
power washer and stuff, which they're gonna do as well. But yeah, if someone, being right there by a parking area, I just imagine someone go over the curb and hit it, and then you gotta repair the wall. I mean, it hasn't happened, I mean, it hasn't been seriously hit in a long time. If it was the pillars that are on the corner there by the elevator, I would say, oh yeah, we need coverage because those things get hit all the time. But, yeah, just knowing that the city has understanding of who's liable for all of that.
Yep, I can definitely do that. I know Public Works has ongoing budget for repair of various graffiti, like things that get tagged. I'm honestly not too worried about this particular piece, just because it is a mural. It's going to a lot of well-done murals don't tend to get tagged as much as blank concrete walls, so.
Yeah, I've painted over 60 murals in the last 5 years, and I've only ever had one get tagged, and it was that overpass I told you guys about. And it's mainly because there's a lot of protests on there, and that's the only one I've ever seen have a tagging. So if that helps with
Yeah.
graffiti abatement pros for murals.
Yeah.
I think we just want to make sure the city, we have an understanding.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want them to turn around and say, oh, you have to pay us for this repair, which we didn't know about. Okay. Other questions? I had one, and I'm starting to blank on it. I'll come back to it. I lost it. I just had it. But if there's no other questions from the group, we can turn open to public comments. If there's any public comments on this project that anyone wants to put forward. I don't know if anyone's online.
There is a gentleman online from the Confederated Tribes.
Is Mac just supporting you guys, or is Mac supporting you? Yeah.
Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, my name is Mac McFarland. I am the Arts Program Administrator in the Cultural Resources Department for Confederated Tribes of Grand Island. And yeah, I just was here. I had a great meeting with Anna, and just wanted to say that we feel great about this and are looking forward to being involved in any way we can help.
Terrific.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming tonight, Mac. We appreciate you taking the time to lend your voice in support of this project, and appreciate you working with the artist.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so I think we've got comments done, questions. Some procedural things. I think we've got everything in your application, and I understand that the fees for the permits and application will be coming out of enhancement grant funds, so that'll be a journal entry for the city, however they decide to do that. Have you received the permit, the approval of the permit for the closure of the sidewalk? Or is it just?
We have applied.
You've applied, okay.
Yes, you don't technically need to have that submitted until 2 weeks prior.
Yeah.
However, we have submitted, and we did have a scam request for payment. Somehow that got sent to Soulflags a couple days ago, and thankfully it was a scam because it was an exorbitant amount of money, and said OR City Planning at USA something, and it was determined to be a scam.
Okay.
Wow.
Yes. Yes, I would say that should get processed here fairly soon.
Okay.
The traffic control plan was part of that application, along with the health and safety plan, so.
Okay. You had your certificate of insurance, project timeline, project safety plan, color, image, photos of location, written description. You had all the information on the paints.
We are speaking with the Two Rivers Neighborhood Association. We had done that previously, but the mailer saying mural was not part of that. So they did that recently, and we're speaking on, I think, the 29th to the Two Rivers, just to get final approval from them.
From them?
Yeah. But
Okay.
we have had it previous.
You had a previous conversation with them? Okay.
Yeah, and they approve of it as well.
Okay. Safety plan. Last thing on my list was the easement form. Do we have an easement form?
It is my understanding that an easement form is not required because we cannot issue an easement to ourselves. And in fact, so our city recorder, you guys know Mr. Wiley, he's an attorney, and I can't remember what legal concept he said, but if you issue an easement to yourself, I can't remember the legal term, it's not necessary. Not only is it not necessary, but it cancels it out.
However, in August 19th and August 21st of last year, February 19th of this year, Leo Council stated that we need to have the easement form signed. And that it's just like a building permit. The city still has to give itself a permit to build a building in Oregon City. So we need to follow that guidelines. So unless Carrie Richter wants to write a letter saying she rescinds that directive, I would say we need that to be able to approve.
Okay. Yeah, now that you say that, Josh, I do remember Carrie providing that input, so I'll take care of it.
Okay. If nothing else?
The right-of-way permit, what we're planning, if there's interest, is closing the sidewalk for approximately 30 days, roughly, and doing a 19 parking block segment that first week closure, and then doing 5 parking block increments each week down to, from the elevator down to the pedestrian tunnel. So that is the plan, and Public Works does not seem to have any issues with that.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Could I ask you a question that's unrelated to our project?
Yeah.
Why do you guys put out RFPs versus RFQs? Just as an artist, I'm very curious because it feels like you're limiting the ability of artists to apply because many professional 5-10 year plus artists won't even apply to an RFP due to extreme effort in order to make a proposal.
I think we generically call it RFP, but an RFQ is what we could issue. We typically have done RFPs in the past because they have been for non-city properties, and so we are basically going to the businesses and saying, you submit your proposal with us, and so they go to the artist and get that. So generically, we've just talked about RFPs, but yeah, RFQ, yeah.
Cool. Just curious.
That's good feedback. That's great.
Yeah.
If you ever want to talk to a mural artist about these things, I'm happy to come and chat with you guys as well.
Appreciate it.
You'll have your opportunity starting July 1st. Or sorry, 6th.
Before you guys leave, now, just as a point of order, do we need to take a vote to formally approve? I believe that we would need to take a vote to formally approve.
We would need to take a vote. I would say we could wait till the next meeting to approve if we get the easement form done by then.
Okay.
Just so we have everything in order and we can sign off on it
Okay.
procedurally.
Do we need to be here?
No, you shouldn't need to be here for that.
Good plan.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. That was a lot of work.
Yes, thank you.
This is gonna make such a big difference in that area.
Okay, so ending the hearing portion of the meeting, getting back to discussion items. Item 6B, proposal to update public art mural program. And Becca will lead that, but give me 1 second, I'll share her slides. I go through, it's thinking. Oh, come on, Zoom. There we go. Is it going through? Zoom is freezing up.
So even after that, right, so next time we approve it with all the paperwork, does it still have to go to the city commission to approve it?
No, we can approve it.
Now it's up, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so the public art mural program, we've done, actually as a commission and the city, we've done a lot around the murals. And our website is kind of the welcome mat for artists to get introduced to applying for murals. And then there's the city code that we got finished and updated, which was a really big deal. And that goes into effect April 18th, tomorrow, right?
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday, yeah. And then we have Alexis and Amanda who are doing this little side quest to develop the next mural project. And I wanted to point out, like, how important the murals are to Oregon City. This is a really great asset. It's already been built. There's murals already in place. There's a lot more we can do with it. When you look at other municipalities like Philadelphia or Austin, these are huge draws for and income generators for those cities. So investing more into our mural program is really important, and making sure that it's very clear. You know, we all of us were confused, especially the last year or two, about, you know, the code and can we do this or that and what's our role and all of that sort of stuff. So getting all that clarified and trying to find the language so that it's easily understandable is kind of, now we're on the last step of it. Okay, next. So like I said earlier, our website is kind of the friendly welcome mat. It's like, here's how we can help you. We're the Art Commission, and this is, you know, what we can do for you. And then the city website is the regulatory hub. So that's where businesses and artists can go, and they get the forms, and they get, you know, they can see like, okay, here are all the steps, kind of like what Tima and Anna were going through. We did this, and we did this, and we did this. And so what I did when I was writing, you know, we had the new code, mural code being written. At the same time, I was writing the page for the OCAC for our website. And then I was trying to make it so that it was complementary to the city website. And I realized the city website was still kind of confusing. So what I suggested and what was emailed out to you all was, it wasn't rewriting the program. It was just revamping the language so that it was easier to follow and easier to understand. So in that packet, there was the proposed web copy, a draft of that, a yes/no application, which I think is really important, because if somebody's going through an application and they're not meeting the criteria right there, they shouldn't even be sending it into the city. Like, that saves time for the city. And then also on the back end, there is also a staff checklist, like what Anne was saying in the staff report. She was like, okay, we have this, this, and this. There's that checklist. And then there's also a template for the staff report. Okay, next. So what we did was, you know, first of all, there were some changes made. There was a new application, I think, that was put up there. And so these are just some fine-tuning things that happened when I was kind of rewriting this. One was just clarifying the maintenance, and we were just talking about this, like, to make sure the city isn't accidentally held financially responsible for cleaning stuff, you know, or who is on private property. And the 5-year easement keeps the maintenance responsibilities with the property owner per the new code. So that's per code. And then also the language kind of aligns with the new code, so that language around the zoning rules, AI-generated art guidelines, this is includes that checklist that I was talking about. And then clarifying the $1 million insurance. So that's just so that it doesn't throw people off. The artists and property owners can partner to cover the liability insurance. Like, for example, we might say to an artist, okay, you need to make sure that you have this in your budget as a line item, that, you know, it's going to be $500 or whatever for the insurance for the duration of the project. Okay, next. And so the wins are, the yes/no application is designed so applicants meet the code before they submit, saving time. It provides a clear, predictable path to getting art on the walls. And then it helps us stay focused on the rules and objectives, ensuring that everybody has a fair process. Okay. So the next steps would be to motion to approve the recommendations for the city's page. Our page is done. the mural code is done. This is just helping to update the city's page and application. And then what we could do, and Anna's like a perfect person to draw in, same with Kathy Rowe, maybe some businesses, but have a small focus group and talk about the packet to make sure it makes sense, because she brought up some really good points and questions. And then city collaboration, present our findings to city staff to help us with updating the official webpage further if needed. And that's it.
So this would be a full update to not just the webpage itself, but the guidelines and even the application form a little bit? Okay.
But what was updated is really so that it's kind of more like you see the flow of, if you're going to do this, here's the flow of stuff that you need to have done and in place. And then instead of, I think right now there's web copy, there's a mural form, the easement form, which is legal and that stays the same. There's a guidelines packet, and then there's an application, and this simplifies it. The guidelines is on the web copy, and you just download the easement form and the application. And the application is a yes/no application. And the only parts that have been changed are updates per the city code that were just approved.
Okay.
This is awesome. Like, I'm way to go. I mean, this makes total sense.
Thank you.
Yeah. Also probably was a lot of work.
It was. But you know what? It was more work to be confused.
Yeah.
Right? And I kept thinking, I'm like, I put myself in Anne's shoes, getting applications. I put myself in an artist's shoes, having done murals. I put myself in the business owner's shoes, and I was like, we have to find a way to make this friendly and inviting and easier, because murals are such a huge asset for the city. And we could have more murals. We could have a mural trail. We could have all kinds of stuff with murals, like Josh was talking about the rain activated poems and stuff like that. So there's a lot that could really draw people in. And I just feel like this is the last step, is helping the city page be a little bit more understandable. It's not that it's not understandable. It's just, I think with the new code updates, it just needed to be updated. Yeah.
Great, bravo.
Nice job.
Any questions?
And you guys have all the copy, so it's in the packet. It's just not here and printed.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot.
Okay.
But if you guys want to look through it, please do.
A couple quick thoughts for this community review. I think, getting someone like Anna, Kathy Rowe is great. Could we bring in the gentleman from Madison Tap Room as a business owner and get his perspective as a new person doing it? I think their Elks Club was thinking about doing a renovation on theirs. They might be another good one to pull and just say, what do you think of this? Is this making sense to you, how this works?
What about the Ogle mural building owner?
We could. I don't think he's local, though.
Oh,
I think he lives up in Olympia or something, right? His family owns it, but I think they don't.
I didn't know that, sorry. No.
I'm 95% sure that was what I remember, but could be wrong. He would be another one, I mean, I don't have any problem with reaching out, thinking a little bit about size, but it would be a good thing. I also think after we launch the program, my other idea was we should maybe see if we could go to a DOCA meeting or a Chamber of Commerce meeting and say, program's been updated, been cleaned up a little bit, clearer now. Utilize this if you need help, like what could we do to kind of push others to start thinking about, murals and stuff more tangibly.
Yeah, there's a blank space on the building my studio's in as well.
Yeah.
So I could reach out to the owner.
Yeah. I think just once we get it launched, getting the word out that, hey, it's been revised, come have a look and see what you think. And then, if we get a lot of people saying, well, we would do it, but it's a money issue, then we can come back and have a conversation around that. So just a couple.
And when we have the focus group, Anne, do you feel like the city would like to be involved in the focus group, or would they like to have the report back of what the focus group comes back with?
I would enjoy the opportunity to listen.
Okay. All right. Yeah, if you all, I don't know, I think it would be good to like, see if we could get that focus group going next month in May. And then we could come back in June. What do you think?
I'm just trying to think in terms of timing. If we have the RFP, approval of the mural strategic document, I mean, we could try and fit it in. I don't know. What do other people think? Is that?
We could also wait until the fall, because we have Soulflags mural going in, and then the 3 that you guys are talking about. So there's murals already happening, like there's really not a massive rush on this, but I also don't want it to kind of languish and fall off the table.
And while Anna's in town, right? Because it sounds like she doesn't live in Oregon City.
Yeah,
It
she's
might be
in
more convenient to
Washington.
have her, if you do it while she's here doing the painting.
Yeah, we could do it like in July.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'll bring that in at the end.
Okay.
Okay, so are you looking for an approval of anything? I'm just trying to remember now.
Yeah, it would be, it's on the last slide.
Oh.
It would be to approve the suggested updates that were sent to everyone. And also, I guess, approve like, let's have a focus group.
Okay.
And then we can decide when to do that, and then we'll come back with the findings. But it sounds like July, if Anna feels like it, she might be really busy.
Does the focus group have to be in a public meeting if it's just like a couple of us and
the
these
rest
people, and then we
yeah.
report back?
If it's you and me, Anne, and then we had the rest, we wouldn't have to be a public meeting, right?
Right, I mean, not a public meeting of the Arts Commission, but it would obviously still be a.
So there could be one other arts commissioner where we wouldn't start pushing the edges of that. So if somebody else wants to be involved in that focus group, raise your hand.
Anyone interested?
Myra? Got a hand. Awesome. Okay. All right, Anna actually has been an amazing resource. She even has written a mural guide for artists and has offered to let us put that on our website as a resource for artists. I haven't put it up yet because I want you guys to see it first. But let me talk to her and find out what she feels is her timeline. I think she would, because she's such a key person for this right now and is a great resource, I'd like to make sure that we can get on her schedule and then we can invite these other people. So how does that sound?
That works for me. So wait, do you want us, now I'm confused. Do you want us to approve what you've already sent out before everyone else reviews it, in case there's more feedback and you have to make changes?
I hope there's no changes.
That would be my only concern, is if there was additional changes after that discussion.
I think it's really, I mean, I don't know if anybody took the time to read it, but what I was hoping was that we would take that to the focus group and test it and make sure that that works for them. And then in the meantime, you guys can be looking at it if you want and see if there's more clarification that needs to happen. So
I mean, I'm okay with that if we want to give people a little more time to review it all, and then you talk to them, and if it, beta tests like 100% okay with them, then yeah, approving it at the next meting.
Okay.
With those.
What do you guys think of that?
I got it.
I didn't get it.
I didn't get a packet.
You should have all gotten a PDF on Black
It was
Friday.
at the very, very bottom. We're on page 56. But this is the back copy.
PDFs are sometimes like 70
I know what
pages
I'm
long.
reading on top of my email, but I just.
Page 57
Well, let me see what
of the
email I have
packet,
for you.
and then
It went out about 7:30 last Friday.
It's 57. So,
it goes down
did you
to
recognize the screenshot she
61.
just used? Okay.
Oh, I did get it, Anne. I apologize.
No, that's okay.
It's marked, it's unread still, so that's good. Delete it.
Did you say that?
Okay.
So if you're okay with that, Rebecca,
I'm
we
fine
can,
with that.
we can give everyone a little more time to review that.
Yep.
If you have comments, send them directly to Rebecca. Rebecca will meet with Myra, Ann, and the group and try and get some real life feedback. And yeah, the next time we come back, we should have a pretty solid program ready to launch.
I think it's, I hope that it works because I feel like the city's website and our website could really complement one another. We don't want our website to be heavy with all these documents and everything when they have to go through the city process anyway. But we should be complementing the city site, and the city site should be complementing what we're saying for artists. So, and I'll get in touch with you and we can get that ball rolling. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
Great, thank you, everyone.
Will you be totally done with updating websites after this?
Yes. And then it's mine. I have to do my site. I'm like, no more sites for anyone else. Only mine.
Kudos, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Really, really good job, good work. I love the idea of making something more friendly and easily understood, because there's a tendency not to do that, to be overly florid in things. And you have a real good sense of how to just cut to the quick.
Thank you. Thanks, appreciate that.
Okay, next up then is, what are we doing on time? 45 minutes, actually, we're doing really well.
Woohoo.
Next up is the Creative Action Lab update. So there was an agenda sent out at the very end of the packet that went over kind of the schedule that we planned. So this Saturday, 10 o'clock at the Willamette Falls Studios, we're going to be in the basement, which they just kind of renovated into kind of more of a music, I don't want to say lounge, but like a sound, what's the word I'm looking for? Sound stage. They've got, you know, kind of lots of instruments and stuff down there. They've got lots of boards to kind of, you know, enclose it, little spaces to play and practice. I think they also are going to be starting community like fun nights there every month. We can ask when we're there, but basically, yeah, families come in and they can play music and stuff. But we're doing it there. If you're going to enter, you can still park up on top, but recommend walking down and around the corner on 11th Street, and then there's a back door there that you can enter. Otherwise, you kind of have to weave your way through a little bit to get to it. The ultimate objective that we've talked about with Celicia was coming out of this with some tangible ideas for projects and identifying maybe one, possibly two, depending on cost, that we can then apply for through the enhancement grant. So we have ideas that were proposed at the last event. Not all of those are feasible within the confines of the current terms of the enhancement grant. So like a art cultural center, probably not going to happen with $40,000. So we took the ones that were compliant or could fit into that. We have a few others that have come up since and that we've heard from other people in the group and in the ecosystem. And then we're going to allow for additional ideas. Once we have all those, we're going to pick out a top like 3 or 4 and break into groups. And we're going to start putting pen to paper on what that could look like. How's that going to, you know, what's the benefits to the community? What's the cost? And have people just start brainstorming workstation that for about an hour. And then come back at the end, present those, and then identify, select from those. So our goal is to literally come out with a paper or two that has projects that we can turn around and apply for enhancement grant funds from. Stop there, see if there's any questions.
Who's doing the application for the enhancement grants? Us?
We would be filling it out, yes. And I kind of I attended the meeting here, which was part of the process you had to follow, or you had to watch the video online. There's been some changes to it this last year. So, Ann can speak more to this, but basically they're just looking for more tangible assets. They have categories that kind of filter back into kind of the metro program, the overall metro program where the funds come from. So environmental or arts and culture are the big ones. So we kind of get a pass there. And then the limit has been brought down to 40,000, but the contribution amount is 50% of the total. So if you had an application for 20,000, you have to contribute 10,000. That can be in kind or cash. So we can decide, once we get an idea of what the project will consist of, what that'll be. They don't want costs going to administrative, operational, which in our case, a lot of it is volunteer work, so it's not necessarily paying employees. So we will be easier there for getting in-kind contributions. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of the overall changes. I don't know if there was anything important that I missed, Anne.
Well, I don't know if people are familiar with some of the other, I think one of the other significant changes to mention for the enhancement grant is that we got away with or removed the requirement that you had to have a letter of support from the neighborhood association. That said, the enhancement grant program committee felt it was still important to document that you were still reaching out to the community. This is what we want to do with this enhancement grant money. But in the past, we've had one or two people end up just not being qualified to apply because they missed a neighborhood meeting, and so the program committee no longer wanted to punish people in that way. But so they still want you to reach out to either the CIC, the Citizens Involvement Committee, or a neighborhood association. But if you don't do it, you won't automatically be disqualified.
Yeah, and there's other things with like letters of support, but doing it this way where we are using a group of community members to identify the projects, I think that gives us a leg up already. And then, yeah, we can go from there. We have about a month once this event takes place till when the applications are due. Getting it in earlier is better just because it gives Anna a chance to review it and make sure there's nothing that stands out to her based on the enhancement grant things, and then she can help workshop with us on any final little changes we need to make. But yeah, that's kind of the ultimate goal. The other thing is we will be coming out of this with some new projects, and I think to your point earlier, the more we can kind of stack up some ideas and projects and some like real meat behind some of them, the faster we'll be able to turn when we find other funding sources or want to do another project. So we know, oh, that there's an idea, that one should work, or this one's in that price range, we could apply with this one. Which helps because if we're going through the city, we've got to give time allotment for, well, not in the enhancement grant case, but if we did a grant like for statewide, we want to make sure the finance team is aware of it and has a chance to review it. So we need to somehow shrink our development time down a little bit. So having a stack of possible projects would be great.
There's a correction on the agenda. The last bullet, because this went out before the three of us met. It says quarterly scheduled, but we decided that doing it every 6 months is actually more feasible. And also, like Josh was saying, we'll probably come away with a list of projects. So if we're doing this every quarter, like we could end up with a ton of stuff that,
Big file drawer.
yeah, it just feels like daunting. So every 6 months seemed like a good way to check in and kind of refresh the list.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure that gets changed.
Just so ambitious.
Yeah, we've got to learn not to be that all the time. Any questions, thoughts, comments on this item? I will also send out the form and the slides that will present this to everyone, and send it out to everyone as well. So if you have your own ideas and can't attend or whatever, feel free to fill those out and send them back in. And we'll, again, like I said, we'll just start keeping track of those for future reference, and then we can fine tune them in future events.
That'd be great, because I won't, unfortunately, I won't be there.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. I think I can stop sharing then.
It says budget request.
Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. So, the Willamette Falls Studios, they charge $400 to rent their equipment and their time to record the session, which we need to do per open meeting laws. The Travel Oregon City agreed to cover the cost of that. However, I would feel more comfortable if the Arts Commission at least paid half of that. So I'd like to make a budget request to the group for $200 to help cover half the cost of the rental for the Willamette Falls Studios. We're not doing any kind of food or anything for it, since it's kind of mid or late morning, just before lunch. So we're hoping people will get out. So if you need coffee or anything with that, it's a BYOB. And that's beverage, not booze. There.
It's like, oh, there.
Joyce was so excited.
But yeah, so that would be that's my proposal and request to the group for consideration, $200.
I would like to make a motion that we contribute to half the expenses, which turn out to be $200 for renting Willamette Falls Studio for the Creative Action Lab.
I second that.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say the same. Okay, consider that one approved. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
That was good of you. I like that. Thank you.
Yeah. They were very kind to offer it, and I know they had a little bit of budget left over for it. But in the future, I think my goal will try and get us back into the library, which is free. The community room there. However, there's an art lab in there this weekend, so I can't be too mad that we didn't get it. So yeah.
But also they can't, I mean, can they record us there at the library?
They have an owl.
Oh, they do have an owl.
They have an owl.
Yeah, they do have now.
But it's also small. Like, how many people are expected to attend?
There was enough room last time. There's that community room downstairs.
Yeah, the community room downstairs.
Oh,
not the
I was thinking
conference room.
upstairs. Got it. Sorry.
There was the invite list that it went out to was about 65. As of the other day, there were, Celicia was estimating somewhere between probably 15 and 20, not including Oregon City Arts Commission people might be there. I would bet on the lower end of that, just given that people might accept, and then Saturday comes, I'm like,
It's gonna be sunny.
Inside out.
yeah, it's gonna be sunny. As soon as it gets sunny,
You're not getting people inside on
yeah,
Saturday.
we're gonna have to lock the doors after people get in. There's no windows down there. That's one good thing, I guess. Okay, so last thing here, strategy document. So I've been working on updating the strategy document. Got some feedback. I appreciate that. I sent the current version to Ann. It includes everything except the executive summary, which we'll do at the end once all the final edits are done. And some of the references at the back, I need to still go through and pull that. And then final polishing of it, so adding some imagery and stuff like that to make it pretty. We added some additional graphics in the objectives area to kind of help make it a little more visual versus just all text. And then I shortened out a few other places. So I sent Ann an email with that, and then I've also attached to it a comment sheet, which looks like this. And I'm going to ask her to send this out and basically give everyone an opportunity to review the document offline, submit your comments back to me using this sheet, and you can add more lines if you need it, more rows. But it, basically this just asks you to put in basically page number and line number. It's all lined. And what that allows is that if multiple people have different ideas or opinions on, say, one section and they get out a number of ideas, I'll be able to combine all of our comment lists at the end, sort them by page and line number, and then go into those sections and really kind of try and see if there's common grounds. If there's not, then we know an area where we need to, at the next meeting, kind of review and look through. It'll help identify those tricky parts. If everyone's in collaboration with it, then it's an easy fix and you just change the language and you can announce it. It'll be a lot quicker and I think cleaner than if we have a Word document up somewhere and everyone's making changes to it constantly. It could get a little hairy and trying to figure out what's the actual text right now. So that was my proposal. The plan is comments, if we can get comments into me by May 11th, which is a Monday, I can turn around and get an updated version out by with the meeting packet for the May meeting on the 21st. We can then, if there's, like I said, very controversial topics, we can review those and clarify those at the meeting. If there isn't any, then we can look to approve it there, or we can approve it in June. Ultimately, having it approved by July 1st makes the most sense because it's a 5-year strategic document, so it means that we have 1 year left of this biennium, and then the next 4 years, or 2 bienniums, it would cover. So we end it right at the end of a biennium, which makes it nice and clean. Yeah, makes my type A personality happy. I'll stop there and see if there's any questions.
When are you going to be able to send us over that form?
I've sent it to Anne. The plan is to send it out tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So she has all the documents and the email. She just, due to open meeting law, I didn't want to send it to everyone and cause an issue. So I'll have Anne send it out.
Okay, thanks.
If you have any questions on the comment form or run into an issue, let me know. But it's there's an example on here and it's pretty self-descriptive of here's, put the text into what you want to change and then put the text of what you're proposing or comments of what you're proposing. It doesn't have to be, completely fixed. If you just want to throw in your ideas in it, we can kind of get the gist from it to put some new language together for it. But yeah.
Thank you for doing that, Josh.
Yeah, no problem. It didn't go as fast as I was hoping it would, and I was like, but it's getting there.
I feel like we're all getting a lot of work done.
We are. I'll look ahead and see if there's a month we can kind of take it easy coming up in the summertime. Give everyone a break.
Europeans, August.
Well, August, yeah, or isn't your event's in August. Your event's in August, so maybe August is the right month then to look at trying to
chill out.
How about July and August?
True. Okay, we can, I think we'll be in a good state, especially with the RFP, the strategic document, the mural changes, lots of things going on right now, the enhancement grant, all of that. So it'll be a fun time, but yeah, we could probably take it a little easy. That being said, we are done with discussion items. Moving on to number 7, communications. Any communications that people would like to share?
I have something. So you guys might remember Kathy Rowe is the next TEDx Mount Hood artist in residence. And I got feedback that they are super excited about her talk and her stage installation. She is creating a forest for the stage, so it should be really cool. If people want to go, it is a schlep. It is in Monmouth at Western Oregon University, but they gave a 30% off coupon code, and it's OCAC.
Very cool.
What day is that?
May 18th, it's a Saturday, and it's an all-day event. It's so cool. But,
May 18th is not a Saturday.
Wait,
May
it's
16th is a Saturday.
16th. You're right, it's the 16th, sorry.
I'm like, I'm traveling that weekend, so I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, it's the 16th. Is
Okay.
it? I don't know. I got it. Anyway, you can go to
OCAC is the
TEDxMountHood.com.
TEDx Mount Hood. Awesome. Really,
Yeah, actually, I wanted to just share with the commission what Porch Fest, Oregon City Porch Fest has been up to, because I realized Amy walked by and saw me at Elevate Plaza tonight at the Wine Walk because Porch Fest had organized the music for the Wine Walk. And so I realized that we haven't done a whole lot of publicity about kind of our secondary purpose besides just the big community performing arts event that we've all come to know and love. We also, throughout the year, this year, and this is new for 2025-26, we've been helping community organizations to have entertainment at their events. So when they don't necessarily have a budget for that, we help them to, or we arrange for them to have performances at their events, and then we also pay the performers. So just letting everybody know that we are doing that, we are engaging in that kind of activity. So if you have an event or you're on another committee, or, I mean, I know we all are, or you hear of just to sort of spread the word, if you can help us spread the word about that. And we'll try to do some better publicity. And the other thing that we're doing is working with other communities to start their Porch Fests. So yeah, I'll be talking to somebody from Canby next week. So yay.
nice.
Just spreading it.
Yeah.
Well, this got successful quickly, didn't it? Yeah, you guys went, wee!
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Milwaukee was first, and then, so you've improved upon their model now, and
Right, so
they're doing it better.
That was who I approached to say, how do you do this? But Milwaukee's arts, I don't think it's their arts committee. I don't know. I think they're sort of a quasi-governmental organization, and they have decided to keep it very minimalistic on purpose.
Got it.
Yeah, so
Portland had one as well?
I think a couple of neighborhoods in Portland have them, but
Okay.
Portland itself, City of Portland, doesn't really have one
Oh, interesting.
that I know of.
Must have been my old neighborhood then, because that's where I heard of it first, but no, this is huge here.
Yeah, it's
Way to go.
very excited about all this success and what it means to the community. So
Nice.
yeah, and the performing arts community too.
Right.
Yeah. Other comments,
I have a
communications?
couple.
Yeah.
So speaking of events in August would be, don't forget the invitation is still there. If the Arts Commission wants to do something at the Arts Festival, just to start thinking about that ahead of time. Because I can have a tent and tables if you want a booth of some sort, whether it's informational. Soulflags will be there. They're always there under the covered area doing children's art. But there's the big unused lawn space. So open to whatever you want to do. But I'm happy to talk with anybody about that.
Well, since you're on the Arts Commission, I hear, what are some good suggestions?
What are some,
Because like nothing occurred to me right. I know in the beginning it was like, oh, our 6x6 things could be there, but that's not an option any longer. So
yeah. So I don't know if it's just like doing information about a mural, right? So like that we are doing this work with the murals, and here's a map of the murals, and here's our approach to how we're trying to get more. So it could be just informational like that. We could set up a big paper something on the lawn so people could paint a mural, right? So it could be interactive like that.
I have some interactive ideas I could
Okay.
share with you.
And then
We have to meet anyway, so
Okay.
yeah, we could bounce some ideas around.
Okay.
If others have ideas that they've heard of, for sure, we could hear those out and talk through those at the next meeting.
I just want to make sure that
When would
People
be
know
the
about-
latest you would the latest you would want us to have an idea to you by, like, what's your enrollment period?
Sometime in July would be great. It's the second weekend of August.
Okay,
So if I need to get some sort of materials or if I need to get volunteers,
yeah.
it would be to prep for that. But I just want to make sure the city knows that this group exists and what we're doing.
One thought I had is it would be cool down there if you did, could we get a bunch of like sidewalk chalk and people doing art down there on just, temporary little piece of art. There is a, I think it's a little girl, but oh my gosh, the stuff she draws on her sidewalk chalk, like up by where my parents live, it's like incredible. And she's probably like 12.
Wow.
I didn't realize that she said the key is you gotta wet the chalk, but yeah, we could, down there, temporary sidewalk chalk, we'd have to make sure it's cleared, but that could be a quick option, and it's pretty cheap if you're talking a cup of water and a couple things of sidewalk chalk, but.
Are there sidewalks?
There's the whole Washington Street sidewalk that
Oh, okay, all right.
used. We'd have to ask the museum, but that whole patio
Yeah,
that leads up to their entryway is all concrete.
So then somebody would have to be corralling many small
you could
children.
do kind of like they did with the sand in Portland, where they do competitions. Get your teams together, come do your sidewalk chalk, and we'll do judging.
Sand?
Yeah, don't you remember when they did the sand castles?
Oh, I thought it was sand.
They actually do a chalk fest in Hillsborough where different artists get a chunk of the street in their main street area, and then they make these really cool chalk,
Yeah.
art creations, and then they are judged.
Okay. I'll ask about using the sidewalk for sure.
That could be fun.
And then the second piece was I had a very nice meet and greet with Lee Kelly's daughter. And she definitely is interested in donation. But I just don't know if the infrastructure is set up to accept anything yet. As well as how we secure funds and resources to prepare a site, right? Because it would be large and substantial. So what that process is that process already set up? Is that stuff that we need to put on future agendas to figure out? But just if I could give her some sort of timeline that, hey, we'll be ready to talk in 6 months, or is it like a year from now?
Are we talking about community arts?
Pardon?
What are we talking
Lee
about?
Kelly, who did the moon one,
Trap?
his daughter has a couple extra pieces of art that she
cool,
could donate to the city, but there's no location currently confirmed, so it would be identifying location, identifying what prep, if any, we'd want to do, or installation. Do we want to, we can, depending on the piece of art, you can make it a pretty nice little foundation for it to sit on.
Could you bring us pictures of what those pieces are? Is she open to that?
It kind of goes both ways, right? Like what potential spaces can we offer would depend on the size. So it's a piece, it's a 4-acre piece of property with a ton of sculptures everywhere.
Oh, I see, okay. She doesn't have a specific piece in mind.
She didn't list anything specifically when I was there. The one that she did want to give, she's going to give to Clackamas Community College because she wasn't getting a response from the city.
Okay.
And so they are taking a really large piece.
Wow.
But
It's a missed opportunity.
So I think then maybe the two things we have to figure out, and I'm happy to help with this one, is talk to finance and the city and see what, in terms of, how that donation would look, what they would expect to kind of get from, in terms of the terms of that. Like, is it to be returned if the city ever removed it or needed to remove it or what have you, or is it something the city would then be responsible for going forward? That whole thing, basically, is it a loan or is it a complete donation? And then talking to Public Works again about potential locations for that, and maybe even Parks and Rec about, locations as well, that we could build it out. But I'm happy to help with that.
I mean, God, there's so many carts that we're trying to put in front of the one horse. The fact that CCC is preparing for this, and I think we should talk to them. about whatever kind of contract they got. It sounds like a donation, you know, he died, it's his estate.
It sounds like,
So
yeah.
what did they do that worked in this
This
instance?
particular one is a sculpture that another city returned because it had rust issues. So the program at CCC is going to repair it and then they will put it in.
Okay. But yeah, I think if we could look at, and that was one of the reasons why it was going to be exciting to have somebody from CCC on our board, is just to find out what the process looks like, what's the documentation, what's the contract look like. And then we can run around like we did for looking for places for a mural and find some kind of cool sites and then determine, okay, it's going to cost us $500 to put a plinth and something can be bolted.
Yeah, depending on the size and stuff of the sculpture, I mean, you could do a really nice, or if we did a smaller one and you wanted to like raise it up higher, but I don't mind going and talking to CCC about it, but I also feel like the city's process is gonna be quite different.
Because CCC is a private entity.
Oh, I know. It's just
They can do
the
that.
fact that somebody's saying, hey, here's a famous guy who makes really expensive art. Hey, city, would you like this?
In
Well, the
terms of,
city's received his piece through the
It was
Rotary
donated from the
Club, so
Rotary,
there's
right,
already a
exactly.
process
Yeah,
somewhere.
Yeah, and it's not the only donated piece. I mean, you look through our
Yeah.
inventory, quite a bit of it's been donated, so.
There should,
was that donated by the Rotary Club?
yes.
Okay. So yeah,
One of the meetings, yeah, it sounded like there wasn't a clear path for a donation.
there's no defined path right now, as far as I'm aware, for a donation, unless they would utilize some other kind of random, if you want to give money to this city, which I think they do actually have.
I mean, I can double check. I know when if somebody were to make a monetary contribution to the Arts Commission, they would literally write a check to the city of Oregon City and then direct it that it be spent, that these funds would have to go into the account that's for the Arts Commission. So I would imagine a similar kind of, well, I guess depending on the size of it too, we'd have to make sure, finding the right proper place for it to be, like, what would we need to do? How valuable is it? I mean, what kind of insurance would we want to take out on it?
I'll see
Well,
if
his
Pete
pieces
does
are
that.
big,
Yeah.
and that's what he's known for. I mean, I think you could go to his website and see examples. And they're
Exciting.
distributed around. You can see.
That's exciting that he's,
Mine too.
that the family wants to support that. That's
So
great.
I would say by the time we get our ducks in a row, it would probably be just under 6 months, but by the time you would actually maybe be able to build and put it in, it could be a little bit longer than that, so 6 to 9 months.
But we have to convince them that we're worth donating to. The onus is on us right now to say, yes, we can do this process and here's how we're moving forward so that it's worth it instead of them just going to forget it. I'm just going to.
No. I don't disagree with you on that, and I think what I'm hearing is a lot of people would be interested in getting it. It's just a matter of getting her what she needs to know and understand from the city, and then getting the plans all drawn up, because if you're talking about carving up sidewalks or pathways and stuff to put it in, that's one thing. If you're talking, it's going to be, we're going to build a new area in dirt at a park or something to put it there, that's a different ball. So we just have to figure those things out. So I think we're all in agreement that we want to work here, but in terms of your question about what's your
that's
time.
helpful, yeah.
You could just go to her and say, there's interest, we're working on it. That would be reassuring to her,
Yeah,
probably, right?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Someone's working on it.
It's nice to know, right, if it's like happening this year or like 5 years from now.
Right.
That's all.
We put that one in over there in December. I guess it depends somewhat on the weather. But yeah,
Jenny's piece.
yeah.
Okay.
She was there too. So that's very sweet.
Really? Yeah. How did her? No, I hope, and that somebody just starts, like, I'm happy to be on whatever committee to research what we need to do and to get her to trust that we could make these things happen.
I'll follow up.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep me in the loop too. I can help. And again, depending on how big they are, maybe there's a place by the library, maybe it's a place, who knows?
Right, the library has a lot of open grass.
Yeah.
There's a house at JQ Adams that I think it would look really good in front of. That's my house.
I got it.
Let's not do that far yet.
Well, I'm almost thinking like along the promenade or somewhere too.
Yeah.
There's some grass there that would be easier to,
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that.
And they just made that, what park, what do they call it? A project park or a pocket park or a, oh shoot, there's a word. Anyway, it's just achieved a status that would help with that.
yeah.
Oh, the Cayuse 5 Memorial?
No, the promenade didn't have the designation of like a regular park, and I can't think of the name of it. I know the mayor was really fussing, and lots of people that live along there were kind of encroaching with lawn chairs. And so they've pushed it all back so that it now has official status.
Got it.
Rules.
So, yeah. Perfect. Well, thank you. Those were both great. Any other comments?
I've got a couple. I'd like to circle back on Art for Every Heart. Myra and I talked, and thank you, Rebecca, for the proposal. We both had some questions and additions maybe to the proposal. And also I'd like to see, I brought it up before, if we could do a group page on Facebook that would be linked to our website so that we could get more. We can't do that?
Mike said we can have our website. If we want to use socials, we can send things to Jared to be posted, but we cannot manage our own socials.
How is that? I don't even know where that is. I've never even seen what he posts.
You post on the Oregon Cities.
Oregon.
Yeah, it's true, and I can bring you, so if you go back, and I don't know if you can find it, but if you can find the onboarding packet, in there is the brand guidelines that shows kind of how you would make things look and sound and feel, and you submit that to Jared, who is the marketing manager,
It's going
if
to be a
you
lot of
wanted
stuff
to.
for me.
I can send them to you again, Joyce.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, 'cause we
And
need
then
more
just
exposure.
to be clear, that's not a proposal, that's research.
So it says proposal.
Oh, okay. Well, it's really just research. It was like, these are the things that Josh was saying. If we're going to create this program, we have to think about these things if we're going to build something out. How does it provide value to the city? How could it be sustainable? How does it make sense? That sort of thing. But as far as marketing, we can talk about this later, but there's a lot of ways that we can be more visible and market ourselves without having our own social media accounts very easily that are available to us. We just have to use them.
Yeah, we need more outreach and connection.
I will say too, like Jared's been getting better and better with his, like even doing something before we even ask. So like our event this weekend, he was promoting it. We've worked with him a few times on trail news articles and stuff, and he's promoted those. So we have a good relationship.
Yeah, we do. And he also promoted the open position.
Yeah.
He's done quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we have other partners that we can also use, Travel Oregon City Guide. Like we can, send things to them and they can push those out across their socials.
Yeah, I did see Travel Oregon City posted something for the open position that we have.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But what else did you want to say about the Art for Every Heart? You guys are working on this now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're working on it. I mean,
This was a really good, bones foundation that we could work off of, and we both have some ideas and questions and things that we'd like to go over.
Okay.
yeah.
So are you just asking for time on the next agenda?
Yeah.
Okay. Done. Any other comments? One thing that I was going to note is that the Museum of the Oregon Territory, MOOT, they were contacted by the company or the individual who bought the the courthouse, the old courthouse down there. And they had been removing some of the architectural elements of the courthouse. I think it's like an eagle, shield, and other symbols. And we're talking about giving those to the museum, and then the museum turn around and using that to put together some type of display, kind of commemorating the seat of the Clackamas courthouse there and the history and all of that ties into it. And so Rebecca and I had talked to him about, what would be some options for funding that, because they don't have the budget for it right now. There's some heritage grants and stuff that the state of Oregon offers through their forestry and parks department. I kind of pushed them towards that, but it might come up as a larger project down the road where we help them identify an artist who can come in and help kind of work through the display, the ultimate, if it's going to be inside, outside, murals, imagery, signage, all that kind of stuff. They'd tell that story. So all that's to say is that things to come. But yeah.
That's good to hear.
Who bought the courthouse?
Seth Anderson, level development,
Yeah.
72 residential units.
Residential and retail, right?
Well, ground floor retail, 72 residential units.
Is he tearing it down, rebuild?
You have to, because it's not earthquake.
Yeah.
It's not seismically safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, those elements that Josh just mentioned are going to be, my understanding is, are going to be reincorporated into the Liberty Plaza next door.
Yeah. Is the Liberty Plaza, that's Clackamas Clackamas County property, or is that Oregon City property?
I think it's OC now. That's a good question, though.
That's a good place for potential.
Put a mural on it.
Or a statue.
There is a nice stage there
Yeah.
already, so.
My
people will
understanding
make
is, I think
another
that is part of the agreement for him buying it, is that he would give that to the city. The city really wanted that open space.
It would maintain an open space, right?
Back to the Lee Kelly thing, if we did something down there and you had not just a platform for a statue, but a small stage as well that you could utilize under various weekends.
It would be awesome to have a stage on the promenade.
That might be a good option. That kind of hits two birds with one stone.
Yes.
We should talk about all the places we can put stages around the city.
That would be cool.
Okay. I think that's it in terms of communications. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I move to adjourn.
And you.
I'll second it.
There's your name in here somewhere.
We will consider then the meeting adjourned. Thank you.